Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back. No early show today. I took some time off, just trying to get over this hay fever. But I think I'm sounding a little bit better, and I got some Flonase yesterday, and it seems to be helping. So Flonase seems to be doing a good job. How are you all? See Anna, Patty, Marilyn, Diane, my friend Sienna, Kathy's here, Patty's here. Hey, Patty. Uh, Diane. Who else? Who else? Gayla's here. Marilyn. Did we have anything? Evil Alaska was here earlier. I Hate Mornings dropped in. It's good to see you all. I hope everyone in Florida is taking cover right now. It looks pretty bad out there. I've been following it all night. It looks like there's a whole bunch of tornado watches out there too. Let me get set up and then we'll have a look. I was looking for some webcams around that area to sort of show you guys what's going on. Let's have a look if I can find anything for you. It looks like a bunch of them have gone offline in the last little while, unfortunately. Yeah, there's one here. I'll show it to you. You can see it like it really sort of went backwards. Let me grab this link. Where is it? Is it that one? Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. So you can actually see like just how these aren't the greatest photos in the world from webcams, but I'm guessing there's a lot of power out there at the moment that's just gone out. The conditions really worsened. It sort of looked like this earlier. It's just a bit rainy. You know, it's fairly clear, but not too bad. And then it sort of went to something like that. Just you can't see anything. There's not much left. Like that. You can see all the rain coming through. Um, Visibility is very poor. Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you all. It's nice to be back. Let's see. Flonase, yeah, that stuff cleared up my nose pretty good. Uh, Kathy says, "Did you catch lightning bugs as a child?" No, we don't have them here. We see them in American movies and stuff like that, but we don't have them in Australia. They're not a thing. We used to watch American movies and go, "Wow, you have bugs that glow in the dark? That's pretty cool." Wish we had bugs that glowed in the dark, but we don't have them here, unfortunately. Let me take you out to. I was having a look at Windy before as it made landfall, and I was going to show you something really cool about the hurricane. Where is it? Let's go to satellite. We may have to go back in time. Yes. All right, let me show you this. Let's go to Windy. And I was, if you go back in time on this thing, it's not going to let me, or just. If you come down here, this is the eye right here, and you can see it as it made landfall. It went longer earlier. You could see back about a few hours, but now it's sort of stopped it. You can see as that eye, and that's exactly where it hit, right here. What is this area? Is it Perry? I'm not sure what suburb this is. It's not telling me, but what town is that? Perry. So like, yeah, sort of southwest of Perry on the coastline here. You can see as that eye wall came ashore about an hour and a half ago, something like that. Really cool to see that. You can see it started to change shape too. Got this elongated shape, and that's from the interaction with the land. Before, when it was coming into the this area, the Big Bend in Florida, it had a really strong eye. It had gone through a couple of eye replacement cycles and looked great, looked really strong on the radar. I was watching it last night. I was like, wow, this thing just really picked up as it got through. There you go. You can kind of see it. It just has that buzzsaw shape, that very, what I was telling you a few days ago, very symmetrical, very circular. And you get that sort of, yeah, very buzzsaw whirlpool type shape and a very strong hurricane, very, very big hurricane too. once it came through this land gate here and got into the Gulf, it just took off. It just started sucking up all that warm, moist ocean, and just started like overclocking. It was just like, yep, let's keep getting stronger. And within about 24 hours, it went from like not much to about a category 2, and then about 6 hours after that, it went to 3 and 4. So I really hope people down here are okay. I've seen some footage out of Fox Weather and the Weather Channel, and it looks pretty bad. There's like trash cans like flying around. I hope no one's home is that bad. The National Hurricane Center put out a thing about unsurvivable storm surge, and I was like, it's the number one killer in hurricanes is the water. So the worst of Helene missed my son who was camping in Sarasota. Yeah, Sarasota's a bit further away, luckily. If it hit Sarasota, it would have been really bad. Yeah, hi guys, good to see you all. Oh, you finished your physical therapy? I have a little story for you. So I've been waiting on a new piece of exercise equipment, and I've been like a little kid on Christmas. I've been waiting for it to arrive, and it took like 9 days, and it finally turned up today. And I open up my package, and I'm all it's like a kid on Christmas. And I open the box, and it's missing. It was not in the freaking box. I got the extension cable and the strap, but the main part of it was gone. And the box is all taped up. So at some point, before it got put into the bag and sent to me, it broke open and lost the main part of it. And now I'm having to go through a refund and try to get a refund for it. So it spoiled my weekend. It really did, because I've been looking forward to this thing for almost 2 weeks, and it did not arrive. It's a TRX kit, so I'm starting to do some suspension training, and I was hoping it was gonna arrive, and it just did not. Yeah, it just actually I got a photo I can might be able to show you. Hold on. Where is it? I had to send them a photo earlier. So the box came like this. I will. Hey, hold on. All right. Let me show you the what the box looked like when I did it. Oh, it's already there. Okay. Yeah, let's upload this. There we go. So the box was taped up like this, and the box was like crushed. And when I opened it, I only had the extension cables in it. The rest of it was missing. So bloody shippers. How did they miss that? That it was missing like 90% of its stuff. So all I got was I'll show you that photo if it'll upload. So all I got was the door press and the 2 extension cables and nothing else. Didn't get any of the straps, like you get these handles with the straps and stuff. None of that. I just got the door press and the 2 extension cables, and the main part of it, like 90% of it was missing from the box. So I'm now in a fight with bloody the sender to try to get my money back. Natasha, hey, good to see you. Yeah, it's terrible. Luckily you got your money back. No, TRX, it's a suspension training thing. I know, you would have thought that when it went through their weight system for shipping, they would have picked it up like that it didn't weigh what it's supposed to. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So you're doing like shoulder rehab? I hope you're getting more movement and you're doing okay. You're doing suspension band training to try and get movement back? I hope you are. Hey, Mamma Mia, how are you? All right, let me show you some more about this, and we'll head to. I've got some stories to tell you about a true crime. I wanted to do a little bit of hurricane stuff because Category 4s don't make landfall that often. They're saying here, hey, look who it is. It's James Spann. What a legend. Says Helene's supposed to make landfall tonight. It's already made landfall about a couple of hours ago. And where's that warning for? the storm surge. Here, in terms of impacts, wind, storm surge, and flooding along the Florida coast, all the way from Mexico Beach all the way down to Cedar Key and Tampa Bay. The central Gulf Coast remains on the favorable west side of the circulation with an offshore flow. It'll be windy and wet in Panama City Beach today and tonight, but no storm surge. So the storm surge is all going to be around here. 15 to 20 feet storm surge, according to NOAA and the National Hurricane Center. 15 to 20 feet storm surge. Like, that's unthinkable. Unthinkable. Let me see if I can find any photos of the storm surge right now. Saw a little bit on the Weather Channel. It looked pretty bad. I really hope people are away from the coast right now. Let's see. Here's a little bit of a thing here. You can see, look at that, all the water coming ashore, and there's cars, probably storm chasers, probably trying to get through it. All that water coming onto the bridges and low-lying areas. I really hope they're okay. Let's see if this video has anything. Geographic restriction. Racist. They are racist against Australians. They say here, major hurricane Helene has come roaring ashore into Florida's Big Bend region as a catastrophic Cat 4 hurricane, lashing the region with hurricane force winds and threatening with a potential unsurvivable 20-foot storm surge. 20 foot, that's so bad. That reminds me of New Orleans about 20 years ago. Really, really bad in Katrina. They said Helene made landfall around Taylor County, Florida, between Tallahassee and Tampa, with impacts felt hundreds of miles away. Yeah, you can see these bands. They're already up into like Georgia, Carolina. They're already way up here. Atlanta. Well, Atlanta is Georgia. But yeah, they're already making the impacts way far away from the circulation. And yeah, power outages. They've already got over 1 million people in Florida without power right now, 80,000 in Georgia, and over 14,000 in South Carolina. Tennessee's got around 4,000 people, almost 5,000, and Mississippi's got around 700 people without power, but over 1 million people, residents affected within Tampa right now. Not Tampa, Florida. 1 million people without power. That is pretty bad. Please do not use any what do they call it? Generators. No generators indoors. That's, the storm surge is what tends to kill people. What tends to get people either during or after the hurricane, bloody generators. People using generators indoors, they end up dying of carbon monoxide poisoning from the fumes, and that is one of the worst things you could ever, do. STL says, I don't send cards in the mail. We had a birthday present stolen a couple of weeks ago. No, a few years ago. So Nana always sends money in a card, and she stopped doing it now because one year we got the card or no money, or it never arrived, and someone took the $100. So thanks, I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm starting to feel or sound a little better. Yeah, I can do that. A bionic arm. She is the bionic woman, the $1 million woman. There you go. That's Patty. She is the $1 million woman. I know there's some people heading around. Let me have a look. I want to see if we can get anything from the. Let's go to NBC News. Are they covering this right now? Yeah.
A storm named Helene. Tonight, it's all anyone is talking about along the Florida coast and across the deep south. As we come on the air right now, Category 4 Hurricane Helene powering its way ashore on Florida's iconic Big Bend region. Forecasters have warned it could gain even more strength before official landfall just a few hours from now. The hugely powerful storm captured in these images, taken from a Hurricane Hunter plane, producing sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. The sprawling mass of Helene, a jaw-dropping 500 miles in diameter. Already tonight, some dramatic images of the storm surge, water rushing beneath Florida's Matlacha Bridge, a storm surge of up to 20 feet forecasted. Virtually the entire west coast of Florida under hurricane and storm surge alerts. Georgia and South Carolina also in the line of fire tonight. We'll get to Al Roker for the latest tracking in just a moment, but let's start in Tallahassee with Tom Yamas.
I'm going to leave it there, but here's some photos of the area. Look at how far the water's already come through. This is St. Petersburg, so not directly in the line, but that's coastal flooding from Helene in St. Petersburg. Look at that, there's a car underwater in what should be a street. There's a stop sign that's about half filled up with water. Pretty bonkers. They're saying a storm surge of more than 5 feet was reported, which submerged roadways, and that was in Fort Myers. So you can already see people getting rescue boat missions already. Look at this. Look at the water. That is brutal. Spare a thought for the people who are rescue people, people who work for community organizations or first responders who are working throughout the hurricane. That is a hell of a job. You can see the type of conditions that they have to go through. They don't know what's under that water. Could be a giant alligator. Who knows? Could be a giant shark. Shark could have swum ashore, and then it's like Sharknado all over again. That's what they have to contend with, and I don't envy their job, but they do it with pride. Kathy says, our weather forecaster says, turn around, don't drown. Yeah, that's a classic USA saying, turn around, don't drown. Rachel says, I think this storm will be historic. I don't think it'll be like Katrina. Katrina was just a freak storm that it just hit the wrong place at a time where it was so susceptible to flooding. And it did something I don't think we see that often in history. Harvey was sort of similar, um, although I don't think quite as widespread, but it had a similar effect. It's the water. People are scared of the wind or the tornadoes, but they're very short lived. It's the bloody water that gets you. Those rescue, if you ever get invited to help or donate money to something like a rescuers or first responders dinner or buy tickets to it. So sometimes when you're at the front of the supermarket, they'll be fundraising for it or something like that. I think it's a worthy cause of your $10, and it goes to show how they're appreciated from the community. Patty says we have earthquakes. Not quite a Sharknado, but sure. STL Card says, I hope it doesn't happen to you. Yeah, porch pirates are pretty bad. Diane says, I have you in stereo on my phone and TV simultaneously. Okay. I mean, I was watching, I lived in a house. It was my second property I ever lived in when I moved to Melbourne. And I was watching the coverage on the old Weather Channel back when it used to be on cable, and we used to actually get it in Australia, which is weird. We don't anymore. And I was watching this coverage and all these people stuck in like the Superdome and people without their homes, the levees that had broken, complete suburbs washed away. It was unreal, unreal. Hey Cakes Boo, how are you? One of the most devastating hurricanes I think ever to come through. But that shows you that the conditions are not that good. This guy's in St. Pete Beach, Florida. Let's see if he's got anything good. No, oh, that's right. We got geographic restriction ping. How do you not remember that? But look how far it's already gone. It's already about to cross the border. So it's not too far from the border. It looks like it's about to jump the border and head into is that Georgia? It looks like it's about to head into Georgia. So if you're in GA, you're already under the pump. They're about to be in your area soon. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Oh, this is very interesting too. These are all the electrical workers. So whenever you get these type of hurricane events or nature events where there's going to be like power loss, they call like I don't know who they call, probably the association of you ever seen those ads in America where they're like, it's the Linehood Brotherhood Association of the World or whatever, and it's all these guys that work with power and do all the line work and put the poles in. They have their own brotherhood, and I don't know if that's who they call, but they call them, and they all start driving to wherever they're going to be needed, and they just park, and they'll just wait, and whenever the storm is over, they just get to work and they'll just start building new lines and putting power back in. And you'll see them. There'll be just be rows and rows of these utility trucks, and they're everywhere. And they come from all different states. They'll come from Georgia. They'll come from New York. They'll just go wherever they're needed. Money's probably pretty good too, but yeah, they just go wherever they need help. Pretty cool. I like that. I've never seen that down here. I've seen them mobilize to do stuff, but I've never seen them like rows and rows of them like they have in America. Never seen that. But I've seen it in the US. Deadly crash reported along Interstate 4 or I-4 in Tampa. It's not a great night to have a crash in the middle of a hurricane. And they're saying, echoing the disaster of 2018's Hurricane Michael. Yeah, that could be true. All right. Let's see if we can find. I can't show you any live coverage from Fox Weather or the Weather Channel. They put out a notice earlier today that they are striking channels who pinch their coverage, so we're not allowed to use any of their live coverage. Sorry about that. The animals, they're also one of the worst affected in hurricanes because people think about themselves, but animals can't. Like they don't drive. It's not like an animal can get a car and go off to Texas. So oftentimes animals are the first casualties in these type of hurricanes. It's very sad. All right. Well, we had the hurricane hunters out earlier too. I saw them. I don't know if they're out right now, but they were a couple of hours ago. We had the NOAA one and the US Air Force one out flying around trying to get readings of the hurricane. I think they've gone home for the day. Once it makes landfall, they don't keep tracking it, or they don't tend to. Once it makes landfall, it's sort of like their mission is over. They're about forecasting and trying to find the latest information. Once it gets onto land, they don't tend to keep tracking it. Yeah, I think they've headed home to Biloxi, and they were flying out of somewhere else earlier today. Where was that? Lafayette or something? They were flying at a completely different airport, and it might be because the other one was too close to the hurricane. But they're not out right now. Let me just double check. Nah, no, they're not out right now. They were just before it made landfall. They were still flying through it. Okay. Let me see if I can find anything here. Actually, someone's got the Tallahassee Democrat has a live stream up. I'll show it to you very quickly, and then I have to get off it. Um, this is their camera footage right now out of Valdosta in Georgia and Tallahassee in Florida. Ain't much to see. There's not much to see on there anymore. Hey, Aussie Tad, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, hope you've been doing well. How you doing this grand final Friday? Paddy says we've been having really bad fires. They caught the arsonist that set them through. Set them. I'm glad they caught him. So there you go. There's some footage out of Tallahassee and Valdosta. Do I have Weather Channel going in the background? I can hear it somewhere. Where is that coming from? Sorry, let me turn that off. There we go. So what is this? We should play guess what this is actually a video of. I have no idea what the Georgia one is. Oh, it's a state road 125. So that's supposed to be a highway or something. And the other one is I think it's supposed to be a road as well. You just can't see anything. There's nothing left of it. So have fun. Oh, it's I-10. So the big one is I-10. The small one is in Georgia. It's State Road 1 or State Road I-25 or State Road 125. I can't tell. But there you go. Let me just jump through here. This is not the one I want. All right, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So I don't know if this will show it to me now. Let's see. No, it's updated, unfortunately. So where is it now? So it's just crossed the state line and it is going to hit that Valdosta area. So that's why they've got the Valdosta cam up. But there you go. Let's get their little. So it's still registering around 220 knots an hour out of there. What is that in kilometers or miles? I have no idea. Not sure. But it definitely is crossing. It's still got some good shape to it heading across that border. It's still got a very almost decent eye wall or eye on it right now. And it's got very good looking shape on it still. Normally when it runs into land, they degrade so quickly, but this is um, looking pretty good for something that's been on land for a couple of hours. I heard earlier today that it had quite favorable conditions, that it doesn't have very many competing weather systems with it, and there's no like really severe shear in its path. So it's not going to have a lot of challenges as it goes through. So we may see we may see actually some uh, continued strength within the hurricane as it crosses into Georgia and Carolina. So that'll be very interesting to follow. If this can keep its like Cat 2 or, something like that, even Cat, what is it now? Cat 2? Let me just double check. Hurricane Helene. Da, da, da. I'm not sure. We'd have to check the National Hurricane Center. Hold on. Let's check the National Hurricane Center and see what they're saying. National Hurricane Center. Do they have a site anymore? What happened? National. Do they have a website anymore? Oh, they just put it through this one now. Okay. They used to have their own website, but it looks like they don't anymore. What are they saying? Catastrophic and deadly storm surge is occurring in portions of Florida's Big Bend coast, where inundation could reach as high as 20 feet above ground level, along with destructive waves. That doesn't sound good. Let's see. Where's their forecast discussion? What are they saying? No, not that one. Public advice? Update. All right. Helene continues to produce catastrophic winds that are pushing further inland over Florida's Big Bend and Florida's Panhandle and will be soon entering southeastern Georgia. This is an extremely dangerous and life threatening situation. Persons should not leave their shelters and remain in place through the passage of these life threatening conditions. When in the eye, people are reminded not to venture out in the relatively calm. You get a period of calm in the eye, and then the winds go the opposite direction. When in the eye, people are reminded not to venture out as hazardous winds will increase quickly when the eye passes. They're saying the Perry Foley Airport recently reported a sustained wind gust of 55 miles per hour and sustained wind of 55 miles per hour and a wind gust. So that's a short lived burst of up to 99 miles per hour, while also reporting minimum pressure of 948 millibar or 27.97 inches. The National Ocean Service tide gauge at Cedar Keys reporting a water level of 8.68 feet above the mean high water level, which is an approximation of inundation in the area. So they're saying they're getting around 8 feet above the high water line. So that's pretty bad. It's pretty close to their estimates of what they thought. Some places around the eye could be even higher. So they could be 10, 15. I don't know if we'll see the 20, but definitely in that 10 to 15 is definitely looks like it's possible. There you go. Let's see if we get any. Let's go to the public advice. Will they tell us what category she is right now? They're saying maximum sustained wind gusts of 140 miles per hour with higher gusts expected. Helene is an extremely dangerous Cat 4 hurricane. So she is still weakening is expected after she moves inland, but the fast moving speed will allow strong damaging winds, especially in the gusts, to penetrate well inland across the southeastern US, including over the higher terrains of the southern Appalachian Mountains. So if you're in the Appalachians, be very careful. You may be getting hurricane force winds in the next, few hours. There you go. So I think we're waiting for another update because we don't have a current update of what she is. Hey, thank you very much for the gifting a membership. Oh, Cakespoo got it. That's very kind. JLR was driving around. Hope he's okay. Hope he's doing all right. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it lasts a month and they drop off unless you want to redo it yourself, but that's very kind. 22 point something miles per hour. Yeah, that's only from windy. Sounds like I just told you the other one's about 80 miles per hour in the wind gusts right now. So Georgia's going to have a hell of a time. Let's see, discussion, anything on here? The hurricane is about to make landfall. Okay, that was a couple of hours ago. We must be right on an update. Probably in about 7 minutes, we're probably going to get a new update from the National Weather Service or National Hurricane Center or whatever one you want, whichever one's doing it tonight. And they'll probably give us a new update. There we go. All right. I'll do a bit more in a little while and we'll keep looking into Georgia. But I want to bring you a story out of is this Georgia too? No, Alabama. Let's go to Hoover, Alabama. I don't know if anyone saw this today. Mohammed A.H. Mohammed, that's a hell of a name, was taken into custody by the FBI with the assistance of Hoover PD. There's a photo of him. They say a Hoover man was arrested Monday on charges he tried to hire a hitman to kill his wife and children. Muhammad A.H. Muhammad was taken into custody by the FBI with the assistance of Hoover PD. An undercover FBI employee posed as a hitman and met with him, according to the federal criminal complaint. The filing states Muhammad solicited the murder of his wife for $20,000 and $5,000 for each of his 6 adult children. So he wanted to kill his children as well. The federal charge against him is use of interstate commerce in the commission of murder for hire. The 63-year-old Muhammad is a plumber who owns American Plumbing Service in Homewood. The cooperating witness was interviewed by the FBI, who told agents Muhammad was looking for someone to take care of his family and offered to pay. The FBI complaint filed in the U.S. District Court states Muhammad and his wife are in active divorce proceedings. The three protection from abuse orders were issued against him in 2021, involving his wife and two of his children. The document describes how Muhammad had threatened his family to lock them in the basement and kill them. In 2022, he was charged with stalking in the first degree, and on allegations, he put a tracking device on family members' vehicles. Several of their vehicles were set on fire, and those incidents were characterized as suspicious. So he's been trying to kill him for a while. A recording was played in court, hearing where a witness said, "If you hurt them, Muhammad's family, in quotations, you'll go to hell forever." Muhammad answered, "No, God will reward me." Okay, why will he do that? On February 26, 2024, Muhammad was released on bond with an ankle monitor to track his location. The FBI's cooperating witness reported Muhammad told him he was willing to die for self dignity and die for pride. An FBI employee posing as a hitman met with him and recorded conversations. According to the complaint, he was given $550 as a down payment for the murders. The balance was to be paid upon their deaths of the intended victims. What? I don't know any hitman that would take $500 to kill 7 people. That's like $40 each. Like, who's doing that for $40? It doesn't even buy the ammunition. You're like, okay, yes, I'll take a down payment of $40 to kill 7 people. I don't think that's how it works. This is not a layaway type of situation. I don't think you can lay away on murder. I don't think that's how it works. You end up here with a FBI informant and in jail. That's what happens. Let me see if I can find. Here, let's go to WBRC. Oh, we have a mugshot of him. Here's his mugshot. He looks a little different compared to the original one. Right. He wanted his 6 children included in the murder for hire. I reckon he might. You're looking at a whole bunch of attempted murder charges or murder for hire. Hey, we'll look at this after. I just caught this on the edge. We'll look at this in a second. Oh, wow. According to court records, he also showed the hitman images of the cars belonging to his family that he had set on fire. He sounds like a great guy. Definitely the plumber you should call in an emergency, like a hurricane. All right. Homicide investigation are underway after decomposing body found in Birmingham. Okay. Police are investigating a homicide after a person picking up cans found a decomposing body around 8:15 a.m. on Thursday. The body was found in a wooded area a few feet from the parking lot of East Pinson Valley Community Recreation Center, located in the 3000 block of Jefferson State Parkway. The property is owned by Jefferson State, but Birmingham leases the property for the rec center. There's no word on the amount of time the body has been there, and there is information on what the victim was wearing. What? There is information or there's no information? Because there's no information in this article. They say the coroner will perform an autopsy to determine the exact manner of death. Police say there's no threat to the public right now. Well, that's what we always hope when people are found decomposing. We're like, oh, is there any threat to anyone else? Well, how do you know? You haven't done the autopsy. How would you know? How would you know? Maybe they were murdered. Maybe there's a dude murdering homeless people. How would you know? All right. Let's see. I want to find if we can find any more about this. Birmingham police. Okay. Yeah, it's a homicide. So, yeah, it's not like he just died there. How do you know if there's no threat to the community? Weird. That's a very strange statement. Oh, okay. This is very interesting. What? Hold on. Birmingham man dead after second shooting in Germania Park neighborhood on Tuesday night. No, it's not the same story. I thought maybe they kept finding bodies, and I'm like, see, I was right about the serial killer. But this is different. It sounds like they've had some shooting deaths in the neighborhood over the last, few days. Let me see. Birmingham police are investigating. What's the park called? All right, hold on. Let me just see. What's this park called? Jefferson State Parkway? No, Eastern Pinson Valley Community Rec Center. Okay. Oh, here we go. WVTM. Let's go here.
Birmingham police are investigating a homicide after a decomposing body was found on the campus of Jefferson State Community College. Now, police say a person found the body this morning while picking up cans around Jefferson State Parkway. They then flagged down law enforcement to tell them about the discovery. Police do believe foul play is involved. An autopsy will be performed to help figure out what exactly happened.
A little weird, right? They just said it was near a university or a college. Jefferson State Community College. If it was one of their students, you would think they know there was a missing student, right? Like if there was a kid who didn't turn up to class for a week, they would know about it. They'd call the community college and be like, "Hey, has someone not turned up to their classes in the last couple of weeks?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, Timmy, we were wondering what happened to him." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's probably the guy we found out the back." So the fact that hasn't happened is who else would be there at that time of the day? Let's have a look. Jefferson State, what's it called? Jefferson State Community College. Okay. Let's have a look. Maps. All right. Is that it? No, that's a welding. Yeah. Okay. So they were in that big car. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So they were in this car park. That was the car park we saw in the video. Oh, there is a lot of like, there's a giant lake there, but there is a lot of like bushland, like all surrounding it. They look like they were around here. This is where the camera showed they were, sort of looking at right here. There's a property here too. Maybe someone from one of these properties, although they have a fence. What's this? Embroidery shop. Oh, yeah. That's where all the murders happen, at the embroidery shop. But there's definitely some sort of weird parkland behind the state community college. There's all this kind of like, parking area. This one too. And this one. This all backs onto like really thick overgrowth. Look, there's like about a whole entire section here. So I don't know, but there's a lot of places to hide a body in this particular location. So the body could have been there for a while before anyone noticed. Do you reckon there's a lot of homeless people who use this type of area to camp in or sleep in? That's where my mind went, was maybe it was a homeless person who was using this area as like somewhere to hide at night. Although you'd think there'd be a lot of students just walking around, especially during the day. But you do have a lot of bushland surrounding these car parks. What's nearby? They're mostly industrial, like Bob's Power Equipment. Good work, Bob. And what's over here? Nationwide. Oh my god, it's nationwide. We should play the jingle. And a Domino's. What the hell? What? Is that the world's smallest Domino's? They have 3 car parks. That's all. And a few out the back. That is the world's smallest Domino's. It might be smaller than anything I've ever seen in Australia. It's like a shack. I have to see this now. Let's go here. Show me the world's smallest Domino's. Wait, there's no Domino's here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The hell? That's the weirdest looking Domino's I've ever seen. It looks like a little cottage. Is this normal? Do you guys have these everywhere? Do they normally look like this? And there's a Taco Bell. The Taco Bell looks like a normal place. You know, it looks like a normal fast food place, but the Domino's looks bizarre. It looks like it was like a I don't know, like a cottage or something at one point, or it was used for a different purpose, and then they were like, "Hey, let's turn it into a Domino's." And it's only got like a few car spaces. How odd. How strange. You have a tiny one in around where you live? Just a takeaway one. Yeah, it could be. Strange, but not too far from where they found that body, and you can see in the back all that very dense bushland. See right here, just a few steps away from the Domino's. Like you could be in there, no one would ever know. I doubt people are walking through there day to day. I doubt it. What does this say? Delivery drivers needed, $15 an hour plus something. Now hiring. Okay. It's not bad. 15 bucks an hour to deliver pizza. It's all right. Maybe get some tips or something. It's not too bad. Better than a cafe worker. Rachel says lots of places have. Oh, really? Lots of places have a small Domino's, mostly for delivery. Interesting. We don't have them like that here. They're normally more corporate looking. They don't look like this. Maybe I can show you. Let me see if I can find just a random image of one. Yeah, okay. They sort of mostly look like this here. So they'll have the sign and like the glass windows, and you go in and you get a pizza, and that's about it. That's sort of what they look like here. They just look like a store. That's it. Yeah, same here. They're normally either in a shopping center or a strip mall, that type of thing. It's only delivery. You can't go in and eat a pizza. So if you went, "I want a pizza and I'm gonna sit down and eat it," they'd be like, "You have to leave. Sir, this is a Wendy's. We don't sell pizza." Is that what would happen? Guys, give me 1 second. I need a drink. 1 second. Alright, there we go. Go to Pizza Hut? I want pizza now. I blame you. I blame all of you. I blame, myself. Okay, hold on. Alright, there we are. That's a bit better. No one eats inside a Domino's. Okay, that's weird, but I believe you. Alright, let's see what else we have on our crime list for this, Hurricane Friday night. I hope all our friends in Florida are okay. We have a lot of people who tune in from Florida on this channel, and I really hope they're okay. Oh, wow. Check this out. Check this out. This is a, looks like a power flash. Tornado? Tornado out there, maybe? Or just strong winds, but could be. I've seen there's been a bunch of tornado warnings out across, Florida. But that is definitely a power flash. So power flash is where it either hits a transformer or it snaps the power lines, and you get this blue, sort of spark in the sky, and that's from the power cables breaking or a transformer going kaboom. And, yeah, that is pretty. I can't tell if that's just wind or a tornado, but either way, it's wind. That's pretty bad. We should have a pizza party one night. Should Ping order pizza one night on the stream, and we'll eat pizza? Kathy says there's no place to sit down. It's just pick up or delivery. Weird. We don't have them here. Yeah, that's weird. Ah, so there's no seats or chairs or anything like that. You can literally just go in and get a pizza and leave. Or if you want a pizza, you can just get it delivered. Oh, maybe we have those here. Do we have those here where you can't sit down and eat somewhere? That's what they're talking about, Domino's. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. She says that the one down the road is like that, and that I should know that. Utah says, "Yeah, we should get pizza one night. That'd be nice." I don't buy pizza that often, even though I do like it. I had the best pizza. You know where I went away to that wedding? I went away to the wedding in July. Man, they had the best pizza as a entree. It was just this homemade dough, and it had what else did it have? What did it have? Like bocconcini and pesto and some sort of red tomato sauce. It was like the best thing. I ate like 10 slices of it. And then we had to go eat dinner and we had to have like a 3-course dinner. And I was like, just give me more pizza. That pizza was so good. It was amazing. Best pizza I've ever eaten. Had no meat on it. It was just it was just cheese and sauce and pesto. We'll have pizza party about a nurse student. Let me see. A nurse student? What is a nurse student? Oh, okay. Uh, your links never whenever you send me links, they don't ever send me to the story for some reason. When I click on them, they just take me to a website that gives me, other stories. Hold on. Alright. Is this one the one you want me to tell people about? About this, young lady? We can do that. It says, apparently they released a killer who murdered taxi driver 25 years ago, dismembered Sarah Mayhew's body with power tools in a bid to avoid going to prison again. What a monster. A released killer murdered a woman before dismembering her body with power tools in a bid to avoid going to jail again. Stephen Sansom, 45, admitted murdering Sarah Mayhew. She was 38, before chopping her up and disposing of her remains in a river and a parkland over a 9-mile radius. Oh, why does this sound so familiar? I feel like this was in, there's a show in the UK called Murder in My Village, and I watch it, it's on at the moment again, and it's on once a year, and I always watch it every year because they always have great true crime, stories on it, and I swear to God this story was on it. Anyway, uh, because I remember about him chopping her up and then dumping her in Parkland. They're saying it can now be revealed that Sansom stood in the same court 25 years ago and pled guilty to his first murder after he stabbed a taxi driver in the neck for £25. Then just 19, he was jailed for life in May 1999, serving 20 years before being released on license in December 2019. The builder was under investigation of the probation service when he attacked Miss Mayhew earlier this year. The victim was last seen alive on the evening of March 7 when she met Sansom and went to his home. Police were called on April 2nd after a dog in Roden Fields in New Addington, Croydon, returned to its owner carrying a human bone. So the dog played fetch with human remains. Police later found Miss Mayhew's head, arms, and legs. Here's a photo of this Frankenstein looking effer. He does look like Frankenstein, right? He's got a blockhead. That's what they should call him. It should be his jail nickname, Blockhead. Because he literally looks like he has a head made out of Lego. And there's Miss Mayhew, the woman he murdered. What a nice looking lady. They say here further remains were found 9 miles away in the River Wandle on May 21. The victim had suffered bruising to her skull and her head had been shaved. What the hell? He said he has never provided an explanation for the attack on her and was arrested 4 days later after the remains were found. He showed no emotion as he appeared via video link from HMP Belmarsh to plead guilty. Wearing glasses and a grey t-shirt, he admitted to perverting the course of justice by dismembering Sarah, disposing of body parts in various locations, and cleaning up the crime scene. They said, prosecutor Joel Smith KC said, on the 2nd of April, a gentleman was walking a dog across a field in Croydon. The dog discovered a human bone and the police were called. A pair of arms and legs were found and the head which had been cut up using power tools. He said of Sansom, the defendant has a previous conviction for murder, to which he pleaded guilty to in 1999 and received a minimum term of 20 years. In that attack, he pounced on a cabbie, Terence Boyle, 59, on Christmas Eve in 1998 after telling friends he wanted £300 to buy Christmas presents, adding, I don't care how I get the money. He knifed the popular father of 5 in the throat and back before running off laughing with £25 he had stolen from him. Mr. Boyle managed to stagger into a flat doorway where he bled to death. Described as a gentle and quiet, unassuming family man, he had only been working overtime to buy his own family Christmas presents. That is extremely sad. That is extremely horrible. And it shows you what an absolute piece of crap this guy is. He should never have been released. The disregard for another human that he already showed 20 years ago should tell you that this guy is not right in the head. He needs a freaking bolt to the head. Like, you know what they do to cattle and they go, "Kutush." That's what he needs. Like, he's already done it twice now. Just give him the bolt. Like, just save everyone the hassle and just give this guy the cattle bolt. He needs it. Like, obviously, he's not right in the head, was never born okay, and has no regard for human life or other people. He's, you know, I believe that and sometimes we have these cases where people are they're just not okay. And I don't think this guy will ever be okay. He's already shown 20 years rehabilitation in a jail did nothing. Within 4 years of being released, he murdered another person. So he sat in jail for 20 years, was like, oh, let me look back on my crime that found me here. I was a young guy at the time. I did something really stupid. I unfortunately took a life. You know, maybe I should look back on what I did. And, you know, once I get out of here, I'm never going to do that again. Except that 4 years later, he did. And this time he killed a woman who probably didn't want to F him. She probably didn't want to do anything with him. And he was like, well, I'm going to get mine any way I can. And then decided to kill her and chop her up and dump her around England. What an absolute freaking monster this guy is. He literally looks like Frankenstein. If you told me this was Frankenstein, I would believe you. If you're like, this is the man who played Frankenstein in the movie, I'd be like, oh my god, he looks exactly like him. This guy, man, just give him the cattle bolt. Sometimes people have no rehabilitation and aren't worth the tax money to keep them alive in prison. That guy's one of them. 100%. STL says, what a creep. Rachel says, why didn't they figure out he was so dangerous? Now another life is lost. Exactly. Is it Marilyn's birthday on Saturday? Happy birthday, Marilyn. It's an anniversary one. We did that for Granddad when he died. We do that every year. We have fish and chips on his birthday at his house because we did that at the funeral, and everyone had a great day. It really cheered everyone up on the funeral, and so we do that every year now to remember him. Yeah, it's very hard not having him around anymore. We always used to have him like at Christmas and all that, and it's not quite the same anymore not having him there. All right. Let me see. Let's find out about his victim, Sarah Mayhew. Sometimes we concentrate far too much on the perpetrator and we don't know who she is. But let me see if I can find anything about who she was, because I would prefer to talk about her. Sarah Mayhew. There's literally a channel I just came across it searching for Sarah called Crime Scene Images of London. What do they do? Do they go around London and take photos of dead bodies and stuff? What a freaky channel, says the guy who talks about true crime 7 days a week. Who am I to judge anyone? All right. Let's see if I can find anything on Sarah. It's weird. Not a lot of media coverage, like not a lot of videos or anything like that. Yeah. Here, let's go back to May 23rd, 2024. It says here a limbless human torso found. Oh, I remember this. That it came not long after we had that other one where there was that other male torso found. That's right. Limbless torso found in river belongs to Sarah Mayhew, 38, who was murdered by couple. By couple? We heard about a guy. Wait, what do you mean couple? Who's the other person? Oh, Gemma Watts, 48. So he had a lover. What are they trying to do? Get a threesome or something? It says here a limbless human torso discovered in a river is believed to belong to a woman who was allegedly murdered by a couple. Remains belonging to Sarah Mayhew, 38, were first discovered dismembered in Roden Fields, Croydon, on April 2nd. Police have now confirmed they believe further body parts found in Mitcham, South London, belong to her as well. Let me load the Sun article. The remains were discovered in the River Wandle by contractors carrying out cleaning work. Locals were left shocked after the limbless torso was pulled from the water by emergency crews. It's really severe desecration of human remains. They say Miss Mayhew's family has been informed of the tragic development and are being supported by specially trained officers. Where is Gemma Watts? I want to see this woman. Here, man 44 and 48 accused of cutting up. Do we have a photo of her? There's Frankenstein. Okay. Hey, Gemma. So this is Gemma. She appeared at the Old Bailey via video link with bruises on her face. So someone beat you up in prison? Probably because you're a jerk. It says here, the man and woman accused of cutting up a female victim with power tools before dumping the remains in a park. Let's read about the other one. Apparently, they were both arrested earlier this year and subsequently charged with Miss Mayhew's murder and preventing her lawful and decent burial. Yep. That poor lady. What was their reason for hurting her? Oh, she does have someone punched her in the face. You can tell in the court sketch. Someone whacked her in prison. Someone gave her a prison welcome. Well, play stupid games, win very painful, stupid prizes, especially in prison. I don't have any sympathy. It is alleged that the couple killed Miss Mayhew at a residential property before her body was dismembered with power tools. The cause of the victim's death is still unknown. However, an examination of her body found 2 small vertebrae were broken in her voice box, bruising to the skull, and her head had been shaved. So maybe manual strangulation or mechanical strangulation, something like that. The vertebra being broken in her voice box could have been done post mortem, but the bruising to the skull suggests it happened when she was alive, because you don't bruise when you're dead because you have no blood flow. It says here, Miss Mayhew was last seen in sudden southwest London on the evening of March 8. They said they both appeared at the Old Bailey before Judge Philip Katz, KC, and yeah, I can't see a reason of like why they would hurt this woman. There's a search party looking for more remains of Miss Mayhew. Horrible. Whoa, hold on. Sansom, the guy, Mr. You know, looks like, Frankenstein, says here also faces 3 separate charges of making indecent images of a child. So he's not only a murderer, he's not only just a scumbag, he seems to dip his toe into every possible worst crime of society. Not just killing people, apparently now he's also abusing children and making CSAM material. What an absolute piece of crap. That photo is far too kind for his ugly head, and they really should draw him with like some bolts on his neck and paint him green, make him a little more grotesque. Don't be sugarcoating anything. Make him look like he does. There you go. This guy, 2 people killed 20 years apart, and is charged with making indecent images of a child. Not downloading them, not finding them, not having them, making them. So he abused some poor child at some point. Let me see if I can find anything. I want to find more about Miss Mayhew, though. Is much known about her? Let's go to the Sun.
A limbless human torso belonging to a woman who was allegedly murdered and chopped up by a couple has been discovered almost 2 months after she died. The remains of Sarah Mayhew, 38, were first found in Croydon on April 2nd, but on Tuesday afternoon, Met Police forensic cops descended here on the Wandle Trail in Ravensbury Park. Wandle, that they had found a limbless human torso. The gruesome find was made at around 2 p.m.
That's the weirdest video I've ever seen. I saw someone in the chat say because he didn't want to go back to jail. Yeah. No. He cut her up to avoid jail. He didn't kill her to avoid jail. That's not how you avoid jail. You don't go, yes, today I'm going to murder someone so I can avoid jail. I don't think that's how it works. I think that means you have to go for more jail. We don't know the reason why he killed her in the first place. Like we know the reason he cut her up and dismembered her, but why did she have to die? Like for what reason? Was it her child that they were making images of and she confronted them? That would make sense. Then she had to die so he didn't have to go back to jail. But what is their relationship? Yeah, I can't find anything that says like what was the developments around her time of her death. England is very much like Australia with their court system. You don't tend to find out a lot until you go to trial. Let's see. Let's go to The Guardian. Maybe they know more. Do they have anything here about why? Oh, look, here we go. There you go, Mr. Frankenstein. Why? What's with this face? In every bloody photo he takes, he's always got his chin down and the camera above his, sort of like pointing in like that. Do you think that's your best angle or something? I have to take it down. You're scaring my audience. Stop. I have to take it away. I'm sorry. Um, it says the cause of Mayhew's death is unknown. An examination of her body found the bruising to the skull and the two small vertebrae in her voice box had been broken, and that her head had been shaved. That's an odd thing. That sounds like a avoidance of DNA type thing, but that doesn't work. All they have to do is pull out a hair with a root on it, and they can still get DNA. So that's an odd thing. Is it some sort of humiliation in death by shaving her head? Are they humiliating her? Samson was previously found convicted. Yeah, we know that. No real information on like anything to do with her. Maybe we'll find out when it progresses through the court more. The other lady had part of her head shaved? Could be. Hey, STL Cards, how are you? To make him look like a hard man. No, there is no news about Austin King. I've been trying to keep up with it, and I refresh the page, I refresh everything like every couple of hours. I haven't seen anything new. They didn't even put out an update today. There was no update put out by the Yellowstone National Park. I can show you. Hold on. So the only thing they did today was talk about falcons, these birds. That's it. There is no update to their search for Austin King. The last update was yesterday when they provided that map. This map which shows their search locations, which I showed you last night. The red ones are people on foot. The blue ones are aerial. So these are helicopters or drones. But to me, I said this last night, I find it very interesting that a lot of their search locations are in the valleys. You can see at the base, this is where they're searching. They're not searching over the top, they're searching down the bottom. And that tells me that I think they think he fell. It's very unfortunate. If he's out there and alive, I hope they find him. But it says to me that they possibly think he fell, which does make a lot of sense considering they found his campsite. They know he called his family from the top, but they can't find him, and he never made it back to the boat. So he's been missing almost 2 weeks now. In a few days, it'll be 2 weeks' time. Very, very sad. Here's some photos of the search crew up on the top of the mountain, but no updates that I know of for Austin King. And I don't think I have anything on Jessica Barnes either. Let me have a look. No updates on Jessica Barnes either. No. I will tell you this. Was it you, Angela, that sent me the thing about who sent this to me last night? Someone sent me something about Mambda. I'm not sure. I get so many bloody emails. Someone sent me something about Mambda last night saying that that Vinny guy from Court TV was saying that Mambda had been cut up and dumped around the area. I'm not sure about that because that doesn't make sense based on some of the information they provided. They said that her body had been dragged out of the home. Now, is that a did they misspeak or not say that correctly? Because if that's true, how do you drag her out of the home if she's being cut up? Or do they mean she was just dragged around the home, then cut up? Because the dragging thing has been a big part of the evidence so far. It was someone else. It was dragged into the bathroom. Okay. You really think that's what he did? He cut her up into small pieces and dumped her around Manassas Park? I mean, if that's true, they may never find her. Thanks, Four Sons Mum. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I've been looking myself for updates about Austin and I didn't see anything. Yeah, no update. That's very sad. Yeah, I don't know. He's on video putting things in bins all over. Yeah. Imagine they might be the knives though. They might be the knives, the mobile phones, that type of thing. Do you really think he cut up his entire wife into small enough portions that he could dump them into public bins? I'd have to see the video and see how large these items are. If they're like this big, like the size of a soccer ball or larger, maybe. But if they're like this big, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be chopping her up into like a tiny little parcels like that. The woman that talks about Mamta, is it Nadia? Not Nadia. What's her name? Now I feel bad because she's done a really good job. She spilled. Yeah, I can't remember what her name is. Hold on. I'll find it. She deserves to have her name said properly. Da, 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 da. It's this lady here.
Mamta Kafalbat. Her husband, Naresh, heard her.
This lady? The lady with the bob? Is that who you're talking about? She's the one who does like the majority of the speaking for the group of Mapta's supporters. I can't remember her name though. It's not Nadia, that's someone else.
Thank you for giving the time. We were in, I think, bond. Trying to get a judge to allow his release, but that was denied. Supporters of Mamta are speaking after that court appearance. Let's go ahead and listen in. HOLLYWIRTH. I think we have to start with.
It jumped her name, but at the beginning of that video, she says her name. Yes, this lady here. Yeah, she's very, very good. I like her. I think she's done a great job. She said that's what they've been showed. Do you reckon that's what it is? You'd have to. She was a fairly tall woman. What was she like? 5 foot something? Kathy Lynch says, "How far could Austin fall? 900 feet. Like those mountains are pretty tall. I mean, some of them are sheer drops. I mean, it's 3,000 something meters. Oh no, 3,000 something feet tall. It's one of the highest elevations in the area. He could fall quite a distance if he did. There's a sheer drop on one side of the mountain, so the way he went up, it's sort of gradual, and there's some sort of leveling to it. But on the other side, it's almost like just a straight down. So it depends where he fell. It could be very, very far. I didn't watch it, unfortunately. If that's what she's saying, it's disturbing. What? Okay. It is very disturbing. Yeah. I I'd want to know what they saw on the video, and are they sure it's human remains and not like the knives or other things that he might want to get rid of? Like, are they sure it's body parts? I mean, I believe her. They've been briefed by police several times with things they're not supposed to say on the record. So I would believe it. I just want to know more about it. That's bonkers. If that's actually, you reckon? You would think if he cut up a body, you'd think if he cut up a body in that bathroom, he had a lot of time though. He had a lot of time. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I just think like, do you think they would have found more blood evidence if he'd completely chopped her up in that bath? And I hate saying that. It's so gruesome and it's so horrible. But do you think? I don't know. I do think that if that is actually what's happened, they've got a very hard search ahead of them, a very difficult search ahead of them. If she's made it into the waste system as small parts that have been put in different locations, they have a extremely difficult search ahead of them to try find any part of her. I've done a lot of research into bodies that make it into waste disposal systems, like your public bin and stuff like that. Very hard. It's like for every week that you don't know which bin and what pickup day and things like that and what truck took where, you lose a percent. I think it's like 10% for each week that you don't know this information. You lose 10% chance of ever finding the victim. So within about 3 months, you're stuffed. You basically got 1% chance of ever finding it. That's really bad if that's the case. Can I show you? Can I show you what would you like me to show you? What would you like me to show you? Want me to show you? I can't play Vinny's show. I can't do that because I'll get copyright struck. Yeah, okay. So watch if you want to see it, watch Vinny. How do you say his last name? Politan? Watch Vinny's show on, I think he has a YouTube channel. Here, I'll give you the link. Where is it? Here. I'll give you the link. So if you want to watch Marmta's interview, you can watch it here. Not Marmta's interview, but the interview with the friend. I can't play it though. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't steal an exclusive that he has just to play it on my channel without his permission. Yeah, if that's true, it's really not good. Let me see if I can find that research for you. Let me see. Where is it? It was in the report for the Canadian one. Oh, that was the closest one. That was the best one we've had, yeah. Didn't hear the didn't hear the last bit, but we got a screech. Sorry, we have an intersection out there, and we heard like the and we keep saying one day we're going to hear a crash out there, and this was the closest we've heard. I can, but hold on a second. I just want to find this green fill thing. It's from like the what is it called, like the tribes of Canada or something. What is it called? That they did a report. No, that's not it. I'll find it. Maybe we'll do it another night, but I'll go back through it. We did do a show on it a few months ago, and it detailed the different obstacles you have to find bodies once they're put into the landfill system, and what your chances are for every week that you go without finding them. And I want to show that again since we seem to be talking about this type of stuff quite frequently. You heard that screech? It was loud. That one was real loud. All right. Well, you want to
Wanted
see
to take
the
you back to
area
that-
for Austin King? I can show you again. Austin. I know. What's that park called? It's called Eagle Peak. All right. Let me just show you the way up again. I have shown that a few times. And I think that demonstrates the risks because you'll be able to see it, like how difficult this is. All right. So this is one of the paths up the mountain. This is only I think this is only the last bit. So I think the pass is down here. So where the photo was taken from is from the bit called the pass. This bit is from the pass to the peak. He was at the peak up here where he called family and told them about the inclement weather. Then he was never heard from again, and they found his camping gear far back down the mountain, like down near Howe River. All right. So on this side, it's very like you sort of have this layering system going up the mountain like this. So if you fell, you might, even if you fell from like say here, it is a pretty far drop. It's about like, I'm not sure, but a few stories, right? But when you're over here even, it's a bit of a drop, right? This is quite a distance. This is probably like 10, 20-story drop. So if you fell somewhere here, but there is a bit of a layering system. So if you fell, you could land on something and maybe be found. But when you look over this side, look here. There is no layering system up the mountain. It is a sheer drop. You fall here, you're done. You have no chance of survival. This is just vertical. But over here on this bit of it, there are little ledges and layering and places you could land if you did accidentally trip or fall. And it is a bit of a tricky hike. So you start here and it starts off not too bad. You have these long patches in between the rocks, the rock areas. So you can sort of go up and then around, and it sort of works like a staircase, right? But then when you start getting up here, it gets a lot more difficult. You start having to like do some real climbing or hiking, and you have to get up over here through these very narrow areas up around here, turn around, and then you come across here where the keyhole is. So the keyhole goes up through here, and it's your last descent to the top. So you're up here, and then you get to the peak of the mountain. So Eagle Peak is up here. So this bit's not too bad. Gets a little more tricky when you get through the keyhole and this area. You can see that ledges start tightening, and you start getting quite less room to move, a lot less, and especially up around here too. On your way to the peak, your space is getting more limited than down here. So if you fell here, you'd land and you'd probably be okay. I mean, you might have a few broken bones or something, but you'd survive and someone would find you. This or around here, I'm really worried that I don't know how far you could go. And then you have the sheer drop on this side where I think chance of survival off this one is no. It's just no. Here you got probably a better chance, but from what I understand, they've already searched here. They've searched all around here. They've had hikers go up and down here, and they've already had search parties up in here. So if he was here, I think they would have seen him already. And they've had the helicopters fly up and down these valley bits looking for him. So I don't know. But it's a hell of a climb. It was steeper than I ever thought it was. You heard the screeching too? Yeah, it was a car. So I hope I hope that gives you more insight into what the mountain is like. It's not easy terrain, although some people reckon it's an easy hike for what would you call it? Like people who have done it before. Here, there's a video from another YouTube channel. I'm going to call him. The guy's name is Jackson Graham. Hey, Jackson Graham, I'm going to pinch your video for a couple of seconds, but I will link to it. Please don't come for me. Yeah, I'm going to mute it. So this is him. Let's see him going up. So this is him climbing Eagle Peak. So you guys can get a bit of a look of what it's like. Here's the bottom level. Let's see what it's like going up. There you go. So there's Eagle Peak up there. There's that sheer drop on the right-hand side. There is a little bit of a ramp here, but you can see it's a lot steeper on that particular side than this side. So if you fell here, you'd be in a lot of trouble. You'd fall hundreds of feet before you'd ever be found. This one's got more layering to it, but the further up you go, the bigger the drops are between the levels. All right, let's see them. Do you guys want to see him climb it? Let's see. He almost tripped just then. Look at that. Dude almost tripped. All right, he's going up. It is very strenuous hiking. All right, they're getting up a little higher now. Oh my God. That is a very tight. Hope you don't have to go through there. Oh, you have to go over it. Okay. So, okay, there you go. So I was telling you about how the paths start getting tighter as you go up. There you go. What is that? A couple of feet or something? Not very long between that side and the edge. And Austin was saying there was sleet, snow, hail, rain, all these type of inclemental weather. Okay, now they're at the top. This is Eagle Peak up here. They made it. Good work, gentlemen. There must be like a thing up there for people to take photos with, or like add little things to it, like a geotag thing. There you go. You can see the elevation up there. How high up you end up getting up that mountain. It is the tallest peak, they reckon. Yeah, there you go. Eagle Peak Register, like a geotag thing. You can write your name in it and leave a little message for other climbers saying, hey, we made it. We're Johnny and Mark, and took us 27 years. Be interesting to know, did he leave a message in the register here? Did he made it to the peak? Did he leave anything in that book detailing his plans or his mindset or anything like that? Did he leave anything within the book? Them having a bit of a drink at the top. Fair enough. Celebration whiskey or bourbon. But there you go. It's a pretty crazy hike. You see these fellas trying to get down. Look at this. They had a cigar at the top. Legends. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Kathy. You want to see some of the cliff faces here? Look at that. And these guys were like, look, climbing up. And so this is almost where that photo is taken. That other photo I showed you about the route up. This must be at Eagle Pass, because the pass is right before you start the ascent. Sorry, not descent. I said descent before. When you start the ascent up, this must be the last sort of flat area before you start this bit. And yeah, these fellas, look at that nice view up there. Pretty cool. You can see some of the climbing you have to do to get up to that top. And he wasn't doing it. This looks like summer. This looks like either really nice weather or maybe possibly spring, autumn, maybe even late summer. Very, very nice weather. Very dry. I don't see any rain or snow, sleet, hail, nothing like that. Now you do that same climb with torrential rain and hail and freezing snow, sleet. I think it'd be a lot harder of a climb. Very, very different. Yeah, fog too. Rachel says those rocks look crazy, and if he's had bad weather, it's not good. Yeah, imagine trying to do that guy tripped and slipped, and it was dry weather. And now we've got Austin King doing it in poor conditions. That's it. It's not a lot of fun. I worry for him. I worry that he's that he's slipped. YouTube fair use. Yeah. Yeah, it's YouTube fair use. It's fair use if you add a commentary over the top and you don't use all the video. You can use sections of it. You can't use all of it. And you have to use a commentary over the top. Can't just play videos and steal them. You have to add something to it. Yeah. Very interesting. Well, good climb, fellas, by the way. What are these guys' names? A short video of two friends climbing Eagle Peak, the tallest mountain in Yellowstone National Park. I'm not sure what his buddy's name is, but the main guy is Jackson Graham. Jackson Graham, what a great video. Thank you for posting it, and sorry for stealing it, but you did a great video. Well done. Well done on climbing it too. I don't know what his buddy's name is, but you guys can see sort of the view around. That is some height. I have vertigo just watching this right now. That is, I mean, I think that says it all, right? Where is that view that we just had? Right there. That's the view right there. Imagine climbing that in snow, ice, fog, rain. I think that's not an easy climb. Yeah, they've used drones, they've had 2 helicopters, they've had people on foot going up and trying to follow the route they think he would take. I have no idea, but the people are pretty good. Anxiety is kicking in. They have been flying drones. From what I understand, they had drones or some sort of unmanned aircraft. Whatever that is, I don't know. I hope they find him for his family's sake. And if he may be alive. Maybe he's alive, just injured. I hope they find him quickly. But time is not on their side right now. He's been gone since last Tuesday, and even then they're not 100% sure if that was the last day he was on the mountain. So, all right. Shall we check in on the hurricane quickly? Let's have a look.
This threat seriously. A spot like Atlanta into the overnight hours already starting to see some rain. It'll be torrential, heavy rain out towards a spot like Gainesville, 50 to 60 miles per hour with the wind gusts. That's tropical storm force and then some. But keep in mind that graphic I just showed you, hurricane force gusts still expected. That's over 70 plus miles per hour. Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, Atlanta still under the gun. Eventually, it will begin to pull north of you by the time we get into Friday afternoon. The rain not quite done yet, and the winds are still going to be very gusty.
So if you're in Georgia, sounds like you're still going to have hurricane force winds. It's currently a Category 2 cyclone or hurricane, and it really says 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in Gainesville. So if you're in Gainesville or even Atlanta expecting 30 to 40 mile per hour winds in the area. So be careful if you're in Georgia right now. And it looks like it's still keeping its strength, Cat 2, and it's made it that far inland to Georgia. Pretty cool. STL Card says, years ago I went to Hawaii, tried to scuba dive, but I freaked out. I'm sorry that happened to you. Was it the enclosed space of the helmet or something, or having the goggles on? Kathy said, hikers should wear very bright colors, like hunters, and they wear the orange jackets. You're right. All right. I think we're about 4 o'clock. I think we're going to get out of here for the night. I know it's a very late show and it was a bit of a mishmashy show, but I hope it's been fun hanging out for the last couple of hours. Um, as you can see, I'm starting to get a little better. It wasn't as bad tonight, although I had a couple of moments. I'm glad it's not as bad as yesterday. That was pretty bad. All right, let me just check one thing before we get out of here for the night. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, that sounds fine. Someone sent me a... Sorry, I have to try and fix something for while we're on the air. That's weird. All right, there we go. All right, all done for that. Hey, I really appreciate the people who support this show, even when we go through a bit of weird times like this, where I've been a little under the weather. That's why we didn't do an early show today. I was trying to get, trying to let the Flonase kick in before I, before I jumped on the air. I was trying to let it make me feel a bit better. But we will be back for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be tomorrow night, Saturday night. I hope to be on a little earlier tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be on a little earlier tomorrow. Is Trish doing a woo woo Saturday night tomorrow? Sometimes she only does every second week, so I don't know if she is doing one tomorrow. But if she doesn't go on, I'll probably come on around 10:30. If she's going to come on, I might jump on a little earlier than that. Oh, your brother loves scuba diving? I've never done it, but Angela says, I think they should have to have one of those things in your coat, like a GPS thing or like a thing that inflates, like when you're in an avalanche. Either one would be good. Oh, you sent me an email? You did? You did? I didn't get it. Hold on. All right, hold on. We'll do this before we go. What is it? A school nurse in Missouri died after an accidental collision with a student. What? How does that work? They said a report from KTVI identified the nurse as Angie Burke, who was just 1 month into her new job at KVC Academy Edgewood in Webster Groves, a suburb of St. Louis. KVC Missouri, according to its website, is a comprehensive children's mental health and family services provider. She said Burke was critically injured on March 15, spent 6 days in hospital before she died. They said an OSHA investigation found an accidental collision between a client and the nurse while the client was de-escalating from abusive behaviors. She suffered head trauma and underwent surgery for a brain bleed, but never regained consciousness. Reminds me of that other one. Luckily, the lady survived, but there was a student, a very big young man, who beat the crap out of one of the teachers, and he was in court recently. Let me see. Angie Burke. See if I can find a video for you about her. How sad. She was just trying to help people with, issues and ended up dying because of it.
Details tonight about the death of a nurse at a school for troubled kids. It has sparked controversy surrounding the proposal for a behavioral health hospital in Webster Groves. Fox Files investigator Chad Mira has more on what OSHA is saying about the death.
Angie Burke was just 1 month into her new job as a nurse at KVC Academy Edgewood in Webster Groves.
She was a good soul. She was always spunky, very happy, positive with life.
Angie's mother, Kathy Andrews, says Angie was excited about her new job helping kids at the school for troubled youth. But on March 15th, she suffered fatal injuries. OSHA inspectors wrote, quote, "An accidental collision occurred between a client and nurse while the client was de-escalating from disruptive behaviors." Angie spent 6 days in the hospital before she died.
She never woke up. I was never able to have that closure to say goodbye to her.
One of the frustrations from the family and the community members is what they say is a lack of transparency about what happened here earlier this year. So we reached out to investigators to try to find out more.
Webster Groves Police Department has denied requests for more information about Angie's death because it involves a juvenile. After attempts to track down information regarding an OSHA investigation, we called their regional office. We uncovered this letter that OSHA sent to KVC Missouri in July. It inspected the school shortly after Angie's death. The letter says conditions that led to the fatal accident were not related to workplace violence, but the inspection revealed that employees may be exposed to hazards associated with workplace violence. OSHA decided not to issue a citation for failing to protect employees, but it did offer up what it called opportunities to decrease employee risk. Those include timely notification to employees of a client suffering from aggressive behaviors, more consistent reporting and documentation of violent behaviors by clients, and de-escalation improvements to reduce contact with clients during violent behaviors. Angie's sister, Molly Brown, says Angie wasn't trained well enough to work in that type of environment.
As far as working with children with special needs, I'm pretty certain there are some extensive training that need to be had.
KVC Missouri President Lindsay Stevenson declined an on-camera interview but sent us a statement saying they are deeply saddened by the loss of Angie. They say in part, quote, "KVC regularly reviews our programs, policies, and procedures to enhance safety and well-being for staff, children, and families."
It's eaten at us for quite some time that something needed to be done. My daughter's life mattered, and the dangers are that it could have happened to anyone. Never want anybody to ever feel the way I felt about losing a child.
Andrews and Brown are speaking up as KVC Missouri looks to build a new behavioral health hospital for kids at their Webster Groves property. The property would need to be rezoned, and the proposal is currently up for debate with the Webster Groves officials.
Be accountable for the events that took place is what's really important to us, and to shut them down.
Brown says she'll be at the Webster Groves meeting next month to talk about it. For the Fox.
The OSHA, the OSHA letter was felt like they were treating them with kid gloves. It doesn't feel like they gave a crap that someone died on the premises at all, and offering up only opportunities instead of enforcement sends a very poor message about employee health and employee safety. It really doesn't sound like anyone cared that a woman went to work one day and died not of her own volition, but she died because a student or whatever you want to call it hit her. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you call it, that the patient hit her. Don't care if you call it a collision or whatever. It's a violent outburst that resulted in the death of a worker. It matters, and you can't just sweep this under the rug because you have a pending application to rezone your area so you can build a new facility. You can't be like, well, we don't care that Angie died. We're more concerned about our building. What are you going to do when you expand that building and then you bring in even more clients? Are there going to be more Angies in the future who die because of mismanagement of clients' needs and aggression? When you can answer those questions, I believe only then should they be given the rezoning, the rezoning permit. Until then, until you can satisfactorily explain what happened to Angie and how you plan to mitigate it in the future, you shouldn't be given any type of government help in expanding your operations. Right. If you have to have 50 people in one room to control 10, then that's what you have to do. And if that doesn't make you profit, then get out of business. Stop doing it. Can't treat people like they're just numbers. It's ridiculous. Makes me very angry that this woman died for basically trying to earn a paycheck. It's horrible, and I think the letters and the things that have been sent out almost treat her like she's just a number, and I get why her family are extremely angry. Um, well done to them for going to all the meetings and trying to keep raising awareness about their loved one. I hope they did well at that meeting for the zoning permit. Right, because it goes into the shareholders, or it goes into paying the top 1% of staff more bonuses or whatever. That's the way that all these places operate. It's ridiculous. Kathy says it shouldn't have had to restrain someone alone. No. If you have to have two other strong, burly males there to submit someone while the nurse looks at them, then so be it. But having a middle-aged woman try and restrain someone who is probably a lot stronger than them is a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what happened. She passed away from getting, how'd they try to describe it? A collision. What a stupid, wording. Why not tell us actually what happened? Tell us like exactly what happened, because I don't think you get a brain bleed and have to have surgical intervention from just a collision. I think something more severe happened here, and they're trying to sugarcoat the wording and water it down so it's more palatable by people outside of the organization. Kathy says, "Thank you for doing the story. Her story needed to be told." Let me try. I've had very terrible luck trying to get people for interviews, but I'll try and reach out to her sister and see if we get a reply. Maybe she'll come on and talk about her sister. I'd like to know more about her, like who she was and, what she was up to in life before she passed away and why she wanted to work in these type of facilities. They could have done all sorts of things. That's why maybe we can find out what actually happened, because a collision is not a descriptive word, not enough of a descriptive word to say how someone died, unless you're in a motor vehicle. All right. All right. Hey, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And yes, I realized that today, for some reason, I thought today was Saturday, and it's because it's a public holiday here today. It's a public holiday for our AFL Grand Final weekend, which is sort of like Super Bowl Sunday, but we get a public holiday on the Friday. So that's yeah, it's a little different, and it's a public holiday. So I thought it was a Saturday, but no, tomorrow's Friday night. I'll have to change the title of the show. I'm pretty sure it was said it was Friday night. It's Friday night here, but not where you guys are. So I'm going to have to change that to Thursday. Good work, Ping. Good work. I got no idea who's playing. By the way, Kathy, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I got no idea. I don't watch the AFL. I can tell you. Hold on. I can tell you this, though. Katy Perry is singing at the grand final tomorrow. So if you like Katy Perry and would like to see her live, she is singing at the grand final for the AFL tomorrow. So she's in Australia at the moment. It's the Sydney Swans versus the Brisbane Lions. So a bunch of Melbourne people, where AFL is sort of the national sport down here, they are not involved in the grand final at all. No Melbourne teams at all this year. But yeah, Katy Perry will be singing the entertainment for the grand final tomorrow. April says holidays always get me mixed up on what day it is. Me too. Kathy said she just wanted to help people. Yep. So yeah, if you want to see Katie, she'll be in Australia. Let me see if I can find anything about her. Yeah, here we go. Apparently Tina Arena is playing too. She's going to be on stage with Katy Perry. Okay. Haven't seen Tina Arena in like 50 years. Oh, look, spoiler alert. Katy Perry's going to be on a giant silver weird thing. There you go. Let's see. Can we see it? Katy Perry practicing for the grand final tomorrow. Doing a dress rehearsal, apparently. There you go. Doing a dress rehearsal for the grand final. She doesn't do anything in halves, I don't think. But please tell me Victorians are going to boo Tina Arena. Yes, we can boo Tina Arena. We could do that. We like to do that. There's Katy Perry in her AFL photo. So, you don't know who Tina Arena is? Why are inmates dancing? I think they're children, but sure. You don't know who Tina Arena is and you're from the UK? Interesting. All right. Hey, good night, everyone. It is real late. I'll be back tomorrow for Friday night. For Friday night. Not Saturday night, for Friday night. Hey, I love you all very much. Peace out. Bye. Bye bye. Good night. See you later. You can't stay here. You have to go. Have to go to sleep. Or watch the hurricane. One or the other. All right. Bye.